Aegis Trust and Kigali Genocide Memorial are very happy and pleased to welcome you all today. We are very happy that we're going to enter formally into partnership with Lidice Memorial. Both memorials actually shared the same missions to preserve and educate the world about what happened and give dignity to the victims of genocide. The people of Czech Republic hold a special place in the heart of survivors in Rwanda. And this because when we were running in very darkness in 1994, the Czech ambassador in United Nations, Karen Kovanda, he stood up and really he showed that he recognized what was going to happen. We also know that Kovanda acted because he remembered and understood the lesson of the Holocaust, in which himself he lost family. Ladies and gentlemen, the Both Memorial has a goal to make sure that no one have lost family in the genocide in order for the lessons to be so deeply implemented in their hearts. However long it may take, through education, commitment, and a true partnership, we will succeed.
Dear Mr. Mutanguha, thank you very much for the words. I would like to express how very pleased I am that I can be here today on behalf of the Lidice Memorial to sign this important memorandum. I would like to thank at this place to the Czech Ministry of Foreign Affairs that made this journey possible, made this meeting possible, and I would like to thank local partners for the excellent support. When I was thinking about the points that we could really cooperate on is education of young people, because this is our only hope that the atrocities will not happen again. And I think we have something to give to each other. As you maybe well remember, last year we have been commemorating 70th anniversary of the tragedy in Lidice, of the atrocities that happened during the Second World War. And as was mentioned here on this spot today, next year it's going to be a very important anniversary for Rwandan people, for Rwanda. And I would like to offer by the Lidice Memorial to be the ambassador for the next year for the 20th anniversary of the Rwandan genocide. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this cooperation really leads to great things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Seeing this exhibition, I'm still speechless, and I am afraid that all my words will sound dull and empty. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, our today's visit to the Kigali Genocide Memorial Center is a symbolic demonstration of solidarity and sympathy of the Czech people with families and survivors of hundreds of thousands of victims of 10 days long genocide. And as was said, next year we will commemorate, together with the entire world, 20 years since what has happened here. What was not a spontaneous act. It was not a coincidence. It was not a chaotic act. It was a systematic mass murder, carefully prepared in advance. In 1994, Rwanda was on the periphery of the Czech interests. We had no historical ties, no economic interests, no interest related to our own personnel there. However, the Czech Republic was in that year a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. And it was the Czech Republic who first proposed a draft presidential statement, which in particular contained the following formulation. The Security Council reaffirms that the systematic killing of any ethnic group with the intent to destroy it whole or in part constitutes an act of genocide as defined by the relevant provisions of international law. The Security Council, it continued, points out that genocide cannot be condoned or tolerated, let alone justified, under any circumstances, not by civil war, not by the death of a leader, whatever suspicions surround it, not by past history. The Czech draft presidential statement was our most intensive effort to influence the deliberations of the Council on Rwanda, even though we did not succeed, or at least not without the text being greatly watered down. I consider it one of the most important efforts of the Czech Republic in the Security Council. And it happened to be Karel Kovanda, who was mentioned here, the Czech ambassador to the UN at the time, who first in his speech during the public session of the Security Council on May 5, 1994, publicly stated, and I quote, "On the one hand, the spectrum, there is the hell of Rwanda. My delegation is appalled by the situation in that country and has been shocked by the fact that neither the Security Council nor the UN Secretariat has so far managed to describe the massacres in Rwanda with the only word that fits them, namely genocide. It was even more tragic that the genocide in your country was not stopped by proactive efforts of the international community, but that greatest credit for this goes to the Rwanda Patriotic Army, which continued in an offensive and crushed the forces of the old regime in Kigali. The position of the Czech Republic in that crisis was a principled one and derived from one of the key principles of the Czech foreign policy, respect for human rights. During the 30s, British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain didn't want to oblige his country for the cause of Czechoslovakia threatened by Nazi Germany. He did not want to commit for the cause of a small, far-away country which no one knows. For us, Rwanda too was a small, far-away country we hadn't known much about, but it was precisely our historical experience that obliged us to act differently. We must commemorate Holocaust, Pol Pot regime in Cambodia, genocide in Rwanda, or horrors of the war in the former Yugoslavia, and to learn lessons so nothing similar can ever happen again. And institutions like Holocaust museums in many parts of the world, Dachau concentration camp memorial site in Germany, Lidice Memorial in the Czech Republic, or Kigali Genocide Memorial Center serve as reminders of these tragic events and play an instrumental role in scientific research, education, and enlightenment, especially of a young generation. And so I am pleased that we were witnessing today the signing of this memorandum. And on behalf of my ministry, I can promise that we will put every effort into the successful implementation of that memorandum in the Czech Republic or in the other countries. Thank you once again, all who were involved in that.